What's going on, guys? It's Ricky Ricardo from Pretty Slick Rick TV. Yep, my hands are dry again. Gotta sort my life out, I tell you. And it's a bit of a different one today, okay? One of my favorite rappers, okay, Max B. He got released from prison. I believe he did 16 years and he was supposed to do 75, okay? I don't know how the prison system works or whatever, and you know, it's gonna sound bad, like he did a lot of bad stuff based on, you know, the crimes and stuff like that. I believe someone's life was taken, okay? So I'm not justifying that, and you know, rest in peace to the person and condolences to the family. Do you know what I mean? Even though it was a long time ago, it's never gonna feel great. Do you know what I mean? But Max B, one of my favorite rappers, he's been released from prison, okay? And you know, why you do that? I'm sorry, baby. That's bigger, very notorious, baby. Why you do that? I said, don't call me baby. Don't categorize me with all your ladies. Yeah, like Max B, listen, one of the greatest. You know what I mean? Like he's that, like his raps. You know, he gets melodic. He does a lot of those, you know, really nice beats and stuff like Max Belly, you know, Max Bigger Belly, Max B. Love him. But listen, but he's got beef, or you can't call it beef now because it's been a long time. He had you know, issues with another fellow Harlem rapper called Jim Jones. Now, the reason for my video is not to talk about the gossip. It's just to talk about basically like the mindset, because Jim Jones is in his 50s from what I believe. Max B can be anywhere around that, you know, late 40s, early 50s. And I can't say Max B because, you know, he's just got out. But Jim Jones, you know, he's done really well for himself. Like, I can't lie, he's done really well for himself, especially from where he came from and even how he started to get into the industry, okay? But it's just, what it seems to me on camera, okay, and I don't know about how he is in his home or day-to-day life around his family and that, but the things that he still kind of, the way that he still thinks like he's still on the streets. And you know, he's still, you know, I've seen videos of him going back to the place where he grew up and he's walking around and he's hanging out. And it's like, me specifically, I haven't got time to hang out. I don't have time to hang out. I rarely see my friends. If my friends want to see me, they need to book me. Like, okay, that sounds bad. We need to arrange it properly. Do you know what I mean? I need notice. You can't call me and say, yeah, come out now. You know, like if I'm not working, I'm with my daughter, and if I'm not with my daughter, I'm resting. I don't have time to hang out. You know, so you know, so he hasn't said nothing about, you know, because we know that he's had issues and situations with Max B, and respectfully, he hasn't said nothing. He hasn't come out and he ain't said nothing. Yeah, we're gonna do, like, he ain't said nothing. But it's just the conversations, because he's got a podcast now, and the conversations they're having is like, yeah, I gotta be loyal to this and loyal to that and this, and I'm thinking, why do we even have energy for this? Bygones, it was a long time ago. I don't have the energy for this. I'm looking after my family, like I'm, you know, providing for my family. If I'm gonna do music, I'm gonna do music. All of this talks on friend this and friend that, and man, like, no. It's like, again, Jim will never see this. Jim Jones will never see this, and he don't know who the hell I am. He never will. But again, he's done well in life, but that mentality and that mindset is everything that I want to avoid. Like, you know, he's there for his kids and stuff, but what I'm saying is that he should be so detached from his previous reality that should feel like a dream. But somehow he's got one foot in, one foot out. He still wants to kind of be around. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be around. It's cold outside. Like, the temperature is cold outside. Stand around. I don't want to be around. Like, if you're going to go for a walk in the park, that's different. If I bump into some of my friends, I'm walking in the park, it's like, hey, how you doing? You okay? I might give you a little 5 minutes. But I'm not gonna, you're not gonna call me to go hang out outside the shop. You know what I mean? We did that. We ran through that. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's like that mindset is everything that I'm trying to avoid. And people will argue and say, well, it's the same mindset that made him really financially, you know, well off and successful and stuff. But, you know, a lot, like, but then I don't see the evolution. You know, I don't see the evolution. And then it's like, if something happens, and I'm not wishing nothing, I'm just saying, if something was to happen when he's, you know, going back to the block, like, whose fault is that? We need to try to prevent this stuff. We don't want all of these eyes on us, you know, like, so yeah, like, I'm not really talking about the Max B, I'm not really talking about the Jim Jones, like, directly. I'm just talking about the mindset, because there's a lot of people in the UK as well, they want to mirror this. They want to do so well so they can come back to the ends and flex, or, you know, they wasn't quote unquote that person, that guy, that girl, they wasn't quote unquote, you know, that important, you know, but then now that they've made it and all eyes is on them, they can come back and reinvent themselves. And it's like, yeah, they're that guy now, they're the popular one now, all eyes is on them, so they want that, you know, that praise and adulation and the attention. They want that, you know. And it's like, that stuff just brings, again, you know, I mentioned it yesterday, that stuff just brings the evil out, you know what I mean? And that, like, thinking how you thought when you was 14, 15, 16, when you had ops and stuff, and you're still thinking about that type of stuff when you're 50, I don't really see the progression in that. Like, I don't see the progression. And then, you know, the people that look up to you, that's what they want to do. They want to go back and flex in the hood, or the ends, or the borough. You know what I mean? They want to go back and flex, but that just brings attention and eyes, and not everybody's happy for you. You know what I mean? I said this in a previous video, but not everybody's happy for you. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, that mindset is the complete mindset that I'm trying to do the opposite of. Be around the people that have the opposite of that mindset. You know, it's just so not productive, and it's so counterproductive. Do you know what I mean? I feel, you know. Yeah. But listen, shout out to Jim Jones and shout out to Max B. But I just wanted to use that situation as an example. You know, I wanted to use that situation as an example because, you know, we have to evolve. We come in one way for sure, like, we go in one way, but then once we're there, we have to evolve. You know, the caterpillar to the chrysalis to the butterfly. You know what I mean? Like, you have to evolve. You must evolve. We should, not must, but we should evolve. You know what I mean? We don't always do. You know, and that could be because of our environments. That could be because of our environment. You know, we're not in an environment that is optimal for our growth. Do you know what I mean? So we need to find the environment that is optimal for our growth. But some people, they don't have the privilege of changing their environment. They just don't have the privilege. Whether it's finances or what, like, they just don't have the privilege of changing their environment or their circumstances, you know, like today. But people like Jim Jones, he chooses to go back. You know what I mean? He chooses to go back. And I don't understand what's so cool at this age. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so cool at this age to look, at my age, and he's older than me, you know. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the stuff that's cool, the things that we was chasing when we was younger, the things that was cool, and the people we wanted to be around, it's not cool no more. The people that was idolized when we was younger, they ain't doing too great now. They ain't doing too great now because they couldn't adapt, or they peaked too early. You know what I mean? Like, if you, based on, you know, the social hierarchy of who I was around, I shouldn't be here. Like in Saudi Arabia, doing what I'm doing, how I do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then I know there's people that's like, what, him? If they hear about what I'm doing, you know, through people, you know what I mean, or bump into my social media, it's like, for one, they wouldn't recognize me because I look different. But for two, if they did, they'll be like, him? I evolved. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really not that same person at all. Really, really, really not that same person. And the things that I wanted to do, the things that I needed to do when I was younger, like, I needed to be there. I need to go there. I can't go there no more. Like, I don't want to be nowhere near that. The people that I looked up to, I don't look down on, but I don't want to be nowhere near at all, ever. You know what I mean? The things that I wanted, that was fitting the lifestyle that I was living when I was younger. I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that nowhere near me. Do you know what I mean? Because of evolution. And to be 50 years old with all of that money, to flex all of that money, to come down with all of the designer clothes and stuff, to have kids at home, wife at home, to go chill on the block, to me, we're going backwards. We're going backwards. We're going backwards. Do you know what I mean? I just don't see the benefit of it. That whole mindset. You know what I mean? Like, hanging out with friends or going for meetings. Like, I don't hang out with friends, I go for meetings. Do you know what I mean? Like, now and again, if I'm invited somewhere, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll participate in that. But sometimes I just wanna prioritize rest and recovery. I'm tired. I'm working, I'm grinding. My knee hurts. Back hurts. Do you know what I mean? For me to stand up, I need to sit down. I'm tired. I don't want to stand up and lean on a wall. You know what I mean? I'm tired. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling now. I'm going to cut this video off here. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And also, guys, just don't get stuck. Don't get stuck, man. You know what I mean? Don't get stuck. Find the environment that fits where you desire to go, man. And be there. Be around the people that fits the dream that you want to achieve. Do you know what I mean? Like, find your tribe, guys. You know, don't just try to fit in. You know, find your tribe and do what you gotta do, guys. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I'm going off on a tangent, but find your version of happiness and fulfillment. Do you know what I mean? Find your version. Do you know what I mean? Because you know what? I'm saying all this, right? But that could be what fulfills Jim Jones. That could be his fulfillment. Do you know what I mean? To just chill out on the block. And it might look cool. He might feel cool. But I don't know. Nothing's cooler to me than me just watching anime with my daughter. That's cool to me. You know what I mean? That's what's cool to me. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm not working, that's when I chill out with my daughter, or I just want to rest. Do you know what I mean? That's what's cool to me. But again, yeah, if maybe it's because I've got a daughter. If I didn't have a daughter, maybe I want to chill out on the block. You know what I mean? I definitely wouldn't, but I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm out. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this, guys, with anyone that you feel like needs to hear this stuff. Might need a wake up call. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, leave a comment down below and let me know if you've evolved. If you've evolved, and you know, the things that you used to do that you don't like to do no more. Let me know.